Bit of a doozy on Sunday Night Football. The excellent LA Rams hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as sizable home fave. 6.5 point spread here in this one. We'll break this thing down for you with best bets. Why the Bucs have sort of slumped after a red hot start. How serious of a Super Bowl contender the Rams are, and much more. Welcome to the channel. Ninja here with Nick Holz from OddsShark. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let us know your favorite Sunday Night Football bet in the comments section below. Real quick, as we jump into it, Nick, your thoughts on the spread here. Is the 6.5 warranted? The Rams as home faves obviously goes without saying, but does that not feel like it's a big number? A bit of recency bias, maybe?
Maybe a little bit of recency bias, but these are two teams headed in opposite directions. I mean, you look at the Rams, 6-2 in their last 8 games at home, and they look like one of the NFL's juggernauts. I mean, they're right up there in the Super Bowl odds, if not the favorite at most books, and they're now top 5 in both offensive and defensive EPA. They've won 5 straight games. They're 4-1 against the spread in the last 5. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 against Tampa at home. So the list just goes on and on and on. And the Bucs are really just a banged up football team.
Tough trend for Buccaneers fans and bettors to have to listen to there, with the Rams dominating that one-sided quote-unquote rivalry. But after a sensational start, 5-1, lest we forget, Baker Mayfield near the top of the MVP odds board, the Bucs are sputtering. Back-to-back losses now, losers of 3 of 4. Is this, right now, a must-win game for Tampa Bay?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a full must-win. I mean, Tampa has 2 games coming up against Carolina, who they lead by just a half game in the division, and those games will prove to be must-win for Tampa Bay. They have to win the NFC South to make the playoffs because of how competitive the rest of the NFC is. But the Bucs have the 4th easiest remaining strength of schedule here. So those 2 games against Carolina are going to be tough, but then they got easier matchups with the Saints, Cardinals, Falcons, and Dolphins on the horizon. So there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Bucs fans.
Perfect segue then for my next question, which is flat out, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers frauds, Nick? Like, what has happened to this team? Is it the run game, the backfield falling apart with Bucky Irving going down a while back? Is it Baker Mayfield regression? Can you pinpoint anything with this team, or are they flat out just a bunch of frauds?
Yeah, maybe not as much Baker Mayfield magic as we saw in September, but I think this is still a well-coached, disciplined team that could make some noise in the postseason. I think the war of attrition has really just taken down the Buccaneers this year. They've had some terrible injury luck, and their offensive line has missed 2 starters now. You've got both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on injured reserve, as well as Jalen McMillan. Bucky Irving's still out. Hassan Reddick's hurt. And now guys like Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield, Bucs stalwarts, have popped up on the injury report as well. So most teams, I think, would struggle in the position the Bucs have been put in. You know, if you take away the top 2 wideouts and your top running back, most offenses are going to be stuck in the dirt, and that's where we find the Buccaneers.
The Rams, in my opinion at least, are not frauds. This is the hottest team in the conference with a 5-game win streak, 4-1 against the spread over that span. They are top of the NFC odds board with Philly at plus 275. Metrics point to this being one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. How serious of a Super Bowl contender is this Rams team, Nick?
Oh, to me, I think through 11 weeks now, the most complete team in the NFL. We saw the defense force 4 Sam Darnold turnovers, and they're now 4th in takeaways. They're tops in defensive EPA per play allowed. Over the last 5 weeks, the Rams are 1st in offensive EPA per play, and you have Matthew Stafford balling out as an MVP contender. I think this Rams team is built to take it all the way to February.
But all that said, the Rams offense slowed down just a little bit against Seattle in Week 11. Is that a worrying sign in your opinion, or is it just an outlier? Because in that game, just 12 first downs, 2 of 11 on third down, 249 total yards, and just 22 minutes of possession, Nick.
Yeah, I think that time of possessions may be a little bit skewed by some of the short fields Seattle gave them. Obviously not a performance to remember for this team that has kind of blown everybody else out of the water. But the Seahawks defense, an underrated unit, one of the best in the NFL themselves. So to me, that's an outlier because, as I said, over the past 5 weeks, Stafford and the Rams, 1st in the NFL in drop back success rate at 58%. I just believe in this Rams team, especially if Puka and Devontae Adams can stay healthy. Adams now with 10 touchdowns already, and Puka Nacua just looks unstoppable with all that space on the field. So it's a tough offense to bet against.
And as a 49ers fan, I keep an eye closely on the Rams within that division. So my question for you, and I think I know the answer, but why isn't Sean McVay in the Coach of the Year conversation? Because as I look at the DraftKings odds board early in the week, 19-1, Nick.
Yeah, not a bad idea at 19-1. Honestly, I just think this Coach of the Year award has turned into a popularity contest. It's almost a worst to first contest. And with Mike Vrabel going home to New England and the Patriots as a top seed in the AFC, and also Shane Steichen doing such a great job in Indy, it's tough to beat those narratives and beat those stories. I think that in any other year, maybe McVay is warranted as a Coach of the Year, and we'll probably get some shouts if they do gain the NFC's top seed. I just think it's all based around those NFL script writers and the narrative that they've built this season.
If you had a vote, or if you were going to enter this betting market for Coach of the Year, is there a candidate that you would back?
I would say, looking at the schedule and looking at New England's ability to pretty much win out unless they stumble. I know he's the favorite and it's a little juiced. I would go with Vrabel just because I think he's going to get a solid amount of voters in his corner. A couple of weeks ago, I was saying Steichen, and if the Colts can continue their run, I'd be on him as well. I also think Mike Macdonald, despite the Seahawks losing to the Rams, has done a great job in Seattle. And we saw that team, like, despite the 4 turnovers and a few of them coming in their own end, they could have and were in a position to win the game at the end, if not for a missed kick. So there's definitely a few candidates probably ahead of McVay. I think that just that Wonder Kid storyline has lost its luster.
We had a brief reprieve, but the New England Patriots, they might be back. We'll get your pick for this one in a moment. But folks, you can get Prop Professor for 50% off for the first month. This app drops hundreds of plus EV bets every single day, giving you a real shot at finding long-term profit. And there still are some plus EV plays out for this game. The Bucs first half money line, 2.1% plus EV, plus 185 at DraftKings as we sit here today. Just a sample of what Prop Professor offers. Tons of tools on this app, guys. It's got a fantasy optimizer as well. It's easily the best bang for buck app on the market compared to its competition. Use the promo code OddsShark50 at checkout to get 50% off for that first month. All right, Nick. Bucs at Rams. The Rams 6.5-point home faves here. The total is 49.5. Either side here, minus 110. Plenty of offensive weapons here. Some big names going toe-to-toe under the Sunday Night Football lights. But what are you betting for this one?
Yeah, you could probably tell I'm on the Rams here. I'm just going to hop on the money line and make it easy. Stay away from that point spread with the ability for Baker Mayfield to engineer a backdoor cover in the fourth quarter. I just like the Rams defense so much that I'm putting my faith in Chris Shula and the Rams to get this one over the line. I also like the idea of using the Rams as a teaser leg at home as well.